Good evening, everybody. It's been a while since my last video. It may have been over a year, I don't know. I think maybe it was even beginning of the spring. But it's such a beautiful night out here. I thought while the sun is going down, I'd just record a video real quick. Share with you experience I had a couple weeks ago. Before I get to that, I'm smoking a Kentucky Fire Cure, a sweet. I started these probably the beginning of this last year, and I've really enjoyed them. Has kind of a smoky smoke, if that makes sense. It's good. You may have noticed my channel has changed. I changed the name of my channel to Wanderings. Someone told me when they saw it, they said, "You misspelled the word wandering." And I said, "Nope, I didn't misspell it. It's actually on purpose. It's the combination of wandering, W-O-N-D-E-R, and wandering, W-A-N-D-E-R. So W-O-A-N-D-E-R, I think is how I spelled it. The idea is I'd like to do more about just sharing some thoughts of wondering about stuff as I think about different things, and wandering as maybe I go on a couple trips, bring you with me, kind of sharing that. So it's a combination of just exploring life. So we'll see where that goes. I'd like to do more recording. I know I say that every time, but it is true this time. Anyways, I wanted to share with you a brief experience that I had 2 weeks ago. I had my 40th high school reunion. First reunion I'd ever been to. I was assuming that nobody would recognize me. I got there and everyone came up and said, "Hey, David, how's it going?" I wasn't quite as incognito as I thought I was. It was a great time seeing people. In fact, that weekend, I had 2 encounters. One was with a friend that I had in 11th, 12th grade. She was a very close friend to me. We had a chance to correspond briefly, kind of connected on Facebook about a month before the reunion, and I knew she was going. I thought, I'm going to go down. As I said, it's been 40 years since we've seen each other, and since I've seen any of the people, for the most part. And this particular friend was, as I said, a friend of mine during the 11th and 12th grade, and just beautiful person inside and out. As a person I would have dated. 2 things. One, she's out of my league. 2, she was already off the market. Use an expression that we used to use back then. She's kind of like a college student today, that before they graduate, they've already got the job. They've already been hired. Well, before she ever got out of high school, she was already engaged to be married. So I pretty much was in the friend zone. I was fine with that. Better something than nothing. But I had a chance to meet her again. And I also met another girl that I had met after high school, about 2 months. It was the first girl I ever dated. Really dated. I mean, I'd gone out one time before, but that was just she went out with me one time to impress someone else, and I guess it worked. I never saw her again. But the girl that I started dating a couple months after high school, we dated for about 6 months. She probably would have been the girl I would have married, but we ended up breaking up. And I don't really know why. I don't remember the event of breaking up. It must have been something that I did. I do remember coming back about a month later or 2 months later, and I asked her, I said, would you give me a second chance? And she said, no. We were in front of her grandmother's house. We were on the street and talked for just a minute. I said, "Are you sure there's nothing I can do to get a second chance?" She said, "No." So that was pretty final. Fast forward 40 years. I'm there for the morning of the reunion, and I learned that she actually works at the Walmart right next door to where I'm staying. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go by and surprise her. I mean, it's been 40 years. It's got to be safe. I mean, I've met people that I didn't necessarily get along with, and 40 years is a long time to kind of let bygones be bygones. So I thought, I'm going to surprise her. She was on what they said, a pick line. She was out gathering merchandise because people that they drive up and they deliver the stuff to the car. So she's one that kind of goes out and gets the stuff. And I went searching through the store. I said, I'm going to find her. Well, I found this other lady, and I said, do you know where Beth is? She said, she was right here just a minute ago. And finally she saw her and she called her over, and I thought, I kind of wanted to sneak up. I wanted this to be a surprise, but I got an audience of one at least. And I said, it's kind of weird, but I thought, whatever. So I walked up to her, and I could tell when I looked at her, I said, hey, Beth, how you doing? And she looked at me, a blank look, kind of like a calf looking at a new gate. And I said, you don't know who I am, do you? She said, no. I said, I'm David. That's all I needed to say. She rolled her eyes. A look of disgust came across her face. And I thought, it felt like I was right back in front of her grandmother's house 40 years earlier. I thought, oh my goodness, there is no forgiveness here. I mean, it's right, you picked right up where we left off. And I thought, I can't believe that you're still angry. As I said, I don't remember the breakup. I must have ran over her dog or cat or, I don't know, a family member or something. I don't know what it was, but I must have done something to make her dislike me so much. Even 40 years later. Because I went to the reunion and, not everyone got along when they were in high school, but, there everybody was sociable and nice, even if they may not have liked each other. It was like, hey, 40 years has gone by. We've had a lifetime. And it really threw me for a loop. But that was completely different than the girl that I was great friends with in high school. We go to the high school crush. I went back and we had a chance to meet there, and I walked in. I stood right next to her, and I almost didn't recognize her because she had long hair, and I wasn't familiar with what she was going to look like there. And still just as beautiful she was inside and out. Both of them. I don't know if Beth is still beautiful inside. She definitely has a grudge against me. But for the one that I knew in high school, I mean, I got a hug. We sat next to each other, which I was kind of glad because I could actually ask her questions like, who is that that's talking to me? 90% of the people, like, I don't remember the people. I even looked at the pictures. Of course, they had pictures like in 3rd grade, and I didn't even recognize myself in the picture. I couldn't figure out who I was. So I'm either very forgetful, I'm just dense. It could be a little bit of both. But it was great, the reception. And it was just such a juxtaposition of two entirely different people. One that I could have come close to marrying, just still hated my guts. One ended up getting married to someone else, and I got a positive experience. So it was like that made it a lot better from the morning encounter with the other one. So we've had a chance to continue to keep up on Facebook. It feels like it's a lot longer than just 2 weeks, but it's just 2 weeks ago. Actually, today, 2 weeks ago, that we had the reunion. So, but anyways, it encounters that we have with people. I hope that I'm never that insensitive. I guess what bothers me most about that is that I don't know of anyone in this world that actively hates me like that person. And I guess what bothers me is that I'm sure there's people that hate me or dislike me. But what bothers me is that I don't know what I did. Either way, that was the 3rd time I've come back to say I'm sorry for whatever happened. So I think I've done everything I can do. I won't make it a 4th. But I still want to see the scowl on her face again. Anyways, it was great catching up with everyone there. As I said, I wasn't quite as incognito as what I thought I was or going to be. People recognized me immediately, even though I didn't recognize myself. But yeah, I just want to share that real quick. Share a quick smoke with you. See, the sun is just now coming through the last part of the trees. Absolutely beautiful Labor Day. I don't think I've experienced one that is as nice as this. I hope that wherever you are, that you're having a good Labor Day experience, that you have tomorrow off and you can enjoy that. Hope that you'll relax on the porch. We're not supposed to get any rain, so that's good. So I may come back out and enjoy another cigar after a day's work. But yeah, I hope to make some more videos. As I said, the wandering and the wondering, kind of sharing some thoughts, going places. I'm going to try, as I mentioned before, hammock camping. So if I run into Bigfoot, I'll already be wrapped up like a little burrito. We'll see where that goes. I did go camping up in Kalkaska about 4 weeks ago, up here in Upper Michigan, and sleeping in a hammock is actually pretty nice. You just kind of rock, go to sleep. If it wasn't for the party about half a mile down the road that was playing rock music till 3:30 in the morning, I would have probably slept better, but it was still a good night. Cool, so I enjoy that. So I hope to go camping a little more, bring you along with me. I am gonna fixing my a big greenhouse down here, so I'm hoping to do a time lapse. I'll share that with you. And I got a lot of stuff downstairs in the library that I'm doing. Show you some of the things I've been doing over the last several months. I got a gaming table I'm going to build. I have a lot of goals. You ever get projects started you don't quite finish? I got a lot of projects that I got on the list. It's like, I really need to do some of these. But sometimes life just gets in the way. Anyways, hope that you have a good weekend. Hope you have a good night. We will talk soon. And yeah, hope your smokes go well. Take care.